Stark being smart, and I believe their podcast is called The Wolf's Den. And guys, I don't hate the Order of the Green Hands. I love them. I love their work. Or if you, I guess if you want to call them the Wolf's Den, or if they prefer the Wolf's Den. But I love those. Awesome. I love their work. I actually enjoy their podcasts. I enjoy their YouTube videos that they release, and I love the theories they come up with, and everything else. And I love how they made this amazing video portraying Caitlyn Stark as this dumb person. Like literally, I'm so glad somebody actually made a video about Caitlyn Stark, and because like I knew like Caitlyn was basically partially the reason why things kind of, not just like figuratively but literally everything went south because of Caitlyn Stark. And I'm so glad that the Order of the Green Hand, they made a video about that. Also, I loved their recent video that they made about the three Baratheon brothers. It was awesome. It was very professional. And so, I'm not mad at them. I enjoy their videos. This video they released a month ago, I believe, about Ned Stark being smart and how we should all stop calling him dumb. Well, I watched their entire video. I watched the entire 41-minute video, and I was actually disappointed in their arguments. I believe they really did not have an argument. It felt very emotional, and I was really surprised and disappointed because, like, most of their videos are very rational and logical, and they make sense, and they're very grounded. They're down to earth, and they're not like basically ridiculous. They're very good videos that they make. But and I don't agree with every single thing they say in a lot of their videos, but still I enjoy watching their videos. But this one about Ned Stark, sorry, I just have to disagree with them completely. And where am I going? And by the way, guys, I'm playing Skyrim, in case you guys don't know what this is by now. This is Skyrim. But yes, oh, tread carefully this time. So, yeah, my point is that Ned Stark really is dumb. He still is dumb. And, of course, by the end of their video, I don't like the fact that they somehow try to tie in this idea that if you hate on Ned Stark and you hate on Robb Stark and Jon Snow, then all of a sudden you love Rhaegar and Lyanna, and you think they're super geniuses. And that's not true either. I think Rhaegar and Lyanna were also dumb and stupid for being so immature and irresponsible. Not because they got away and got married. What just attacked me right there? Skeever interrupted me during my broadcast. Excuse me as I kill this rat. So back to Game of Thrones and the Order of the Green Hand. And so basically, yeah, like I think Lyanna and Rhaegar were also irresponsible, or basically irresponsible in what they've done.
Now ain't this a surprise?
Okay.
Gonna split your belly like an old woman's purse.
And he's dead. So anyways, yeah, Lyanna and Rhaegar were also not letting everybody know, hey, we got married, this what happened, Rhaegar got a divorce approved, secretly, whatever, and he secretly got married to Lyanna. Yes, I get that, like, they should have been responsible and warned everybody about this. That's true. Now, aside from that, let's go back to Ned Stark being dumb. Ned Stark, okay, where should I begin? The Order of the Green Hand, they start off talking about, ooh, what's going on here? Oh. So, the Order of the Green Hand, they start off with Ned Stark being this military genius. I agree with them. That's correct. Ned Stark is a military genius. He is good in his battle planning, and he had a good battle plan. That's correct. And of course, the Order of the Green Hand, they are correct when they say that Catelyn Stark is the one at fault for screwing things up for Ned. That is true. Ned does get screwed over. That's also true. And Sansa being a buffoon and basically complaining to Cersei and revealing some things she was not supposed to reveal to Cersei, that's also correct. But at the same time, Ned Stark is still responsible for the stupidity that happened to him. And it's because just because you are a military genius, it does not mean you have the talent or any talent or understanding of how the political game works. And I was reading a comment on their video page, and this one person was agreeing with the Order of the Green Hand, and this person said, "Yeah, I hate it when people make fun of the Starks for not playing the political game." Well, yeah, the Starks deserve to be made fun of for that very reason. Sorry, but it's true. Like basically, like I don't care how honest and how like honorable you are, you still gotta bend the rules once in a while. You cannot always be 100% yourself. There's a limit. Because you cannot just be selfish and think about yourself. You must think about the greater good, the collective. You must think about others. Remember, selfish. These wolves bothering me. Back to Ned Stark. Yeah, Ned Stark is a military genius, so we got that. We covered that. I agree with the Order of the Green Hand on that part. But it does not mean that you're smart in the political arena. I'm sorry. Now you could be both. You could be Gaius Julius Caesar. You could be a great military tactician and strategist, while at the same time being a wonderful, magnificent political or politician, whatever you like. Basically, Gaius Julius Caesar knew the game. Of course, he did get a little bit too overconfident, and we know what happened. We know what happened to Gaius Julius Caesar. Now, Ned Stark is unfortunately not Julius Caesar. Ned Stark is unfortunately Ned Stark. Now, I would love to have Ned Stark as a general, but I don't think I would want him to be my hand, especially if he doesn't know how to play the political game. Now, now that I got that out of the way, so the Order of the Green Hand, they focus on the conversation between Cersei and Ned Stark, and they also focus on his association with the Littlefinger. What is this? East March Rider. So anyways, Cersei and Ned Stark, they do basically have this conversation where a huge amount of people are very correct. I'm sorry to Order the Green Hand, but a huge amount of people are correct when they point out that Ned Stark was dumb for revealing his plans to Cersei Lannister. Now, the arguments that the Order of the Green Hand provides us is the fact that Ned Stark was not being dumb. The argument that they provide is, well, Ned Stark could not have foreseen the king dying during a hunt.
I'm on my way to Windhelm to join up with the Stormcloaks. Ulfric has the right of it.
Sure. So anyways, so like, and they might have a point there to a certain extent, but at the same time, if you really play the political game, you keep your mouth shut. It doesn't matter whether or not Robert Baratheon was going to come back from the hunt dead or alive. That does not matter. When you're in the political arena, you must know how to play the game, and there are certain things which you just must be silent about. You must not reveal your plans to nobody, not even your closest friends. Now, basically, one of the co-hosts mentioned, she mentioned how basically Ned was trying to be honorable when he talked to Cersei, and how he's concerned about the kids and so on. Okay, that still does not matter. That does not matter at all. Your honor, put it to the side, whatever whatever it takes. But when it comes to security issues like this, you basically do not reveal your plan until the very end. Like when basically you know 100% sure it's safe. It would have been a lot smarter, a lot safer for Eddard to just wait for Robert to come back to the palace. Now, of course, if I was Ned, I would not say anything at all. I would just wait. I would have just waited the whole thing out. Now because like all of a sudden Robert gets wounded. He gets wounded during his hunt, and what happens? Well, Cersei already knows Ned Stark's plans already. Well, like Ned did not really have any backup plans, did he? Let's get rid of these wolves. They're bothering me. Level 60, guys. Level 60. So anyways, so Robert Baratheon, he's wounded, right? He's dying. He's mortally wounded. He's going to die soon. And Cersei, guess what? She knows what Ned Stark is planning. like she knows what he's about to do. And what does Ned do? He's just like, oh, well, I'm just.
We know who you are, so you'd better come with us right now.
Not talking to me.
I don't know who you think I am, and I don't care. Leave me alone.
Yeah, these guys bothering the Red Guard woman. Anyways, so Ned Stark, what does he do? Like, he does not really do anything. Like, he simply just writes down the will of Robert Baratheon on a piece of paper. He becomes the regent. But from what I understand, Robert Baratheon isn't dead yet. He's about to die in like what, hours? That is awkward. And Renly. Now Renly basically tells Ned Stark, hey, let's kill everybody. Now, the Order of the Green Hand, they're correct. They're correct when Ned Stark tells Renly, hey, we should not be killing everybody right now. But at the same time, if Ned Stark was smart, he would have immediately suggested another alternative to Renly. He would have told them, hey, like, instead of bloodshed, let's just arrest them immediately. Arrest them. That would have been possible. From what I understand, Renly said, what was it, 300 men, and we could just take them all out. Well, basically, all you need to do is isolate Cersei. Just grab her, and boom, she's gone. Right? Isolate her, throw away somewhere. Same thing with Joffrey. Isolate them, shut them up, lock them away in some room. Like, basically lock them away in a room, put like 6 guards in the same room. So board up the windows, make sure they're not yelling or screaming. Have 6 guards inside the room, like a couple of guards outside the doors, and no one will know that they're in there. Right? Literally, just take them out. Ned Stark does not do that. He does nothing, actually. That's why he's stupid. That's why I'm sorry, he is a moron. Like, basically, now, the Order of the Green Hand, their logic is that, well, Ed Stark is going on assumptions. He's going on the assumption, well, I'm now the regent, people should follow me. Ned Stark lived long enough in the Crownlands, at the capital, basically to realize, yeah, you cannot trust anybody. You cannot trust no one. You cannot make assumptions about anybody. No one is your friend until you know for sure that you're a friend. But even then, you still gotta be careful. And so, even with Littlefinger, it's like, basically, from what I remember from the show, one thing I have to give credit to the Order of the Green Hand, they've read the books completely. I've read the first book and halfway through the second book, and of course, I watched the entire show. And from what I remember in season 1 and the first book, Littlefinger asks Ned, he asked him like if he'd support Renly or Stannis.
So, you can cast a few spells. Am I supposed to be impressed?
Interrupting me during my conversation here. I'm trying to debunk somebody. So anyway, so Renly and Ned, they have this conversation. Ned should have just not really told Littlefinger his true intentions. Ned should have not trusted him at all. But instead, Renly, he was afraid of Stannis becoming the heir. He did not want Stannis to become the heir to the throne, right? He wanted Renly on the throne because Littlefinger was obviously afraid of what Stannis would do to him. He probably would have chopped off his head. And of course Ned would not know that. Sure, whatever. No, Ned would not know that. But still, the point is, you don't tell nobody what you're planning, especially when you don't really trust Littlefinger. If Ned was really so smart and he was using his brain, and he does not trust Littlefinger, he is very cautious about Littlefinger, he would have not fully revealed to him what he's truly planning. He would have just basically acted dumb. like basically he could have just told him, yeah, like I'm not sure, like maybe Renly or maybe Joffrey because he's the heir. Like who should I support? Littlefinger, what do you think? And he probably should have pretended to follow Littlefinger's advice. Littlefinger definitely would not have supported Stannis. Ned Stark would have just nodded his head with whatever Littlefinger said and went along with it, while at the same time sending that secret message to Stannis, telling him, hey Stannis, by the way, the throne is yours. Come on over here and seize the throne immediately. But, of course, Ned sends the letter to Stannis. He supports his right to the throne. He supports his claim to the throne. But Littlefinger knows about this. Ned Stark, if he was smart, he would not reveal such information. If Ned Stark was smart, he again would have followed Renly's advice, by the way, and not kill everybody, but simply just arrest Cersei, isolate her and the kids immediately. And if they have to be in separate rooms, fine, isolate them in separate rooms. Just like I said, 6 guard in a room, and a couple guards outside, and no one will know what's going on, right? Now you could argue that there's Lannister guards in the palace. Okay, sure, but as Renly said, basically 300. I believe Renly said 300 men. 300 men, and they could basically take over. Well, basically just wipe out the Lannister guards, the ones who are in the way, and then just isolate Cersei, and that's it. Isolate her, like don't even let her anywhere near the throne room. While Rob Baratheon is still like alive, about to die, kind of basically because he's still the king, while he's still breathing. Ned Stark doesn't do any of this. He just waits to the last moment to go to the throne room and present a piece of paper which could be ripped up. Of course he doesn't know this. Of course, I get that. But still, but at this point he should have just secretly snuck out, escaped something. Because at this point it was over. Like literally, it was just dumb. And why? Because he revealed his secret to Cersei ahead of time. Let's go back to Cersei now. This actually basically goes back to the conversation with Cersei anyway, because the Order of the Green Hand, they argue that Ned Stark was not acting dumb. He's acting noble. He's trying to do the right thing. And no, when you are smart, you have to understand that being a good person, being noble, it's not something that will help you survive in the political arena, especially in a political arena where it's a bunch of vile snakes and you cannot trust any of them. So it doesn't matter how you're raised and how honorable you are. You must adapt, or you must at least pretend to adapt. So I'm not saying necessarily adapt per se, but at least pretend to adapt. Pretend to.
I'm a sailor on the North Wind. We're laying over in Windhelm for a while.
Was I talking to you? Was I talking to you? Oh, interrupting me while I'm speaking to my wonderful audience. Anyways, where was I? You have to pretend to adapt at least. Make it look like, you know, you're part of the game. Like, or play the game at least. Play the game a little bit. Throw a bone somewhere to your enemies. But Ned doesn't do that. Like, Ned is making the assumption, well, this is how things should work. And so the Order of the Green Hand, they're basically also trying to defend Ned's position. Well, because Ned assumes that that's how things should be. Therefore, he's correct. He's being smart. No. Like, Ned has no rights. He has no political rights to make the assumption that things go according as planned in politics. He should also realize that in politics, especially when you are living under a corrupt government, that there is like no honor, no nobility. You have to, again, pretend to adapt, to at least pretend to be in the system in order to beat the system. Like, especially if you want to get rid of the actual evil people controlling it. And so Ned Stark doesn't do any of this. He's basically in the Godswoods talking to Cersei, telling her, I know everything. I know about Joffrey and the other children, and I know that they're not Robert's kids. So please run away. Run as far as you can. That was just being dumb. And the argument, again, from the Order of the Green Hand is what? The fact that Ned was being noble and he just wanted to protect the kids. That's irrelevant. That's just dumb. You have an entire kingdom to worry about. You literally have to think about your family. You have to think about other families, other people who basically will be living under Joffrey's tyranny. Now, of course, Ned could not foresee Joffrey coming to the throne. Fine, okay, I get that. But still, it's not about you. It's not about how you were raised. It's about the collective. It's about the greater good. You must not think about yourself, too. You must think about the entire realm. How will your decisions and actions affect it? And therefore, the best thing to do is to shut your mouth. Now, of course, Cersei knew something was up when Sansa told her that they're leaving. Okay, sure, Cersei had suspicions, but Cersei herself did not know how far Ned was willing to go. Also, Cersei did not know how much Ned knew. The moment he revealed to her that he knows about the incest babies, that's when basically he made the biggest mistake ever. Okay, so let's assume Robert Baratheon came back, oh, fine, like he turned out to be all right after the hunt. Okay, basically, what makes you assume that Robert would actually kick Cersei out and find a reason to kick her out? What makes you think he'll reject Joffrey as a son? Because let's be honest, I actually don't really trust Robert's character too much, because Robert's past actions prior to the hunt were also not really so good, and they're kind of, it kind of seems that Robert himself just gave in to the whole system. Like Robert, the Order of the Green Hand claims that Robert is indifferent to a lot of things, to a certain extent, yes. But at the same time, Robert, he's also kind of playing the game. What makes you guys think that Robert would just do what Ned said and kick out Cersei or maybe execute Cersei and the children or something, whatever, do something bad to them? Robert could just pull Ned to the side and tell him, hey man, this is not good politically. like basically, come on, like this could upset the whole kingdom, and I really don't care about this whole situation. Like I cheat on my wife all the time and whatever, and if you keep insisting, like I might have to execute you, Ned. Like Robert could do a total 180 and just betray Ned. And if we notice, Robert has not been too friendly to Ned when they came to King's Landing, or even on the way to King's Landing when Robert ordered Ned to kill his Sansa's direwolf, right? Like he just said, "Hey, just do it, man. Like I'm the king. I do whatever I want." And then remember when Ned and Robert got into a scuffle, an argument about Daenerys, right? And how Ned said he's against the killing of innocent children, right? And Robert screamed at him, told him to get out of the palace, and he doesn't want to see him ever again. Robert basically did not have the honor that Ned had when it came to Daenerys, right? And so, basically, if Robert came back from the hunt, and he listened to what Ned told him, Robert probably could have just been so corrupted by the political game, where he probably could have just told Ned he doesn't really care about that, and he probably would have told Ned to recant from his accusations and just let the game keep going, right? like we don't know that. We don't know that either. Because we don't know if Robert would have persecuted Cersei. He probably would have, yeah, but we don't know that for sure. That's why it was dumb. That's why it was stupid for Ned to say anything to Cersei. Honestly, if Ned just kept quiet, honestly, Ned should have just waited for Robert to return at least. That would have been his best option. And so, of course, Ned could not foresee it. But if you're playing the political game, you keep your mouth shut. You don't talk to nobody. Or you don't talk to nobody about what you really know. During the meeting in the Godswood, when Cersei and Ned were having a conversation, from what I remember from the book, they had somewhat like a flirtatious thing going on. Not necessarily Ned, it was mostly Cersei. You could say she's kind of being a little more seductive. And if I was Ned Stark, I would have kind of played along a bit. Not to the point where, I would have entrapped myself, because it could have been some kind of entrapment set up by Cersei. Oh, look, he's trying to seduce the king's wife, right? No, but I probably would have, slightly did some flirting back, or some kind of, playing along with the game, right? I would have pretended to just be like, yeah, Cersei, I think we could be friends, right? Oh yeah, I hope we don't have too many disagreements with each other, right? That should have been Ned Stark. Ned Stark should have been basically telling Cersei what she wanted to hear. That's what he was supposed to do. That's what a smart politician does. He does not go out and just blurt out what he feels. And sorry, Order of the Green Hand. This is not some kind of sorry, Order of the Green Hand. This is not 2021. This is not 2012. This is not 2010, where I hung out with a bunch of college students, and some college students from the Midwest who were super honest and just were super revealing, and it would always get them in trouble, right? Seriously, guys, literally, I met people who are just so stupid. They're super honest. They're super honest. They would hurt themselves, not physically, but they would just screw themselves over multiple times. Because, I'm not saying they should have lied about anything, but I'm saying they should at least kind of, kind of just not say anything at all. Just kind of just be silent about certain things. But there are people who are just dumb enough to just feel like they have to say something. They have to speak out. When there are certain issues where you just got to be quiet. You just got to be silent and just wait your turn. Wait for the right moment. Ned did nothing of the sort. Ned told Cersei everything that he knew. And he was very hostile towards her. If Ned was smart, he would have told Cersei what she wanted to hear. and basically would have ended up tricking her. That's what he should have done. Ned should have realized by this time that he's not just the Lord Paramount and Guardian of the North. He is basically the hand of the king, and he lives in King Landing. And there are different rules, different games. Yes, he's basically theoretically King of the North because he's basically Lord Paramount, is a Warden of the North or Guardian of the North. But either way, basically, he's somewhat of a king in his own in the North, and he basically runs the North the way he sees fit, based on it's all based on his culture, based on the people that live there, and the people in the North are different. They have different mindsets than the people from the Crown Lands. The people in the North are probably more honest, probably more brutal, and so forth, more rugged. And so they do things differently. They do politics in a different way. Unlike the people of the Crown Lands, the Crown Lands is basically the capital lands, you could say, right? And the city of King's Landing is basically the main city right there, and it's the royal city. What was this? A feather? What? Blue Dartwing. So anyways, yeah, like the people of the Crownlands, they have a different mentality. The people of King's Landing think differently. They are big city folk. I believe King's Landing has, 1 million people, while that's basically the whole population of the North, I believe. Yeah, and Ned Stark did not adjust to the new culture he was living in. But he should have. He should have understood that. Being the mature man he was, with his experience as a ruler, like he's the ruler of the North, of course, under the control of the king, Robert Baratheon, but still, Ned Stark should have adapted. He did not adapt. And sorry, Order of the Green Hand, I'm sorry guys, but there is no honor, there is no honesty when you're involved in dirty politics like that. And one of the co-hosts said, oh, he was not being dumb, he was just being honorable and trying to do the right thing. You're not supposed to do that. Or you're not supposed to do that 100% of the time. You got, basically, if you're surrounded by snakes, you gotta somewhat try to adapt and almost look like a snake. Pretend to somewhat be a snake in order to get rid of the snakes. That's what Ned Stark should have done. Same thing with Littlefinger. Going back to Littlefinger again. Ned Stark should have told Littlefinger what he wanted to hear. Because Ned Stark knew what Littlefinger wanted, and Littlefinger basically would have preferred Renly instead of Stannis. But Ned Stark did not do that. Did not do anything that I would have done. I would have just told Littlefinger, hey, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what to do. I just basically would not have revealed my true intentions. So of course Ned Stark did not know the future. He did not know what was going to happen in the future. I get that. I understand that. But that's why you keep your mouth shut until things going your way. Because currently things were not going his way. Why did Ned Stark just not wait for Robert to come back? Because logically, if Ned Stark waited for Robert to return, if he waited for Robert to return back to King's Landing into the palace, yes, Ned Stark would have probably been a lot safer revealing to Cersei what he knows, and then telling her not get out, right? Like or you know, whatever. But instead, like, he just revealed to her without the king being present. Like basically with the king being present, Cersei would not have been able to do anything to Ned. Although that is not really 100% true, because Cersei probably would have hired an assassin, whatever, right? On top of that, let's do a quick little conversation about Robert's hunting, right? So, the Order of the Green Hand, they talk about Robert going hunting and how, like, basically Robert hunts all the time. How Ned Stark basically did not realize that Robert would get hurt during the hunt, because it's basically like almost impossible. On top of that, Robert Baratheon, he was safe from bandits because he had Lord Barristan and the hounds that were guarding the king during the hunt, and the king was safe from bandits and all other people who might hurt the king. And so they have a point there. Yeah, no one who's smart would physically want to harm the king, you know, with a sword in hand, run up to the king while the hound and Lord Barristan are right there. No, like, no fool would do that. But an assassin with a bow and arrow from a distance could literally just hide somewhere, camouflage themselves, whatever, and shoot an arrow into Robert Baratheon's throat. Like, sorry, Order of the Green Hand, did you guys not think about that? Did you guys not realize that, like, an assassin could literally just, not necessarily bow and arrow, like, maybe, like, get some little pole and, like, little arrow right there, just blow through the little pole, and boom, the king's poisoned, like a poison dart. Or maybe, like something, like a bolt from a crossbow, like from a distance somewhere. Yeah, I think my game is about to freeze. So yeah, like, this is why I don't. This is why I'm really disappointed with this video that the Order of the Green Hand has released. I'm surprised. Like, I'm really surprised at the conclusions and they made.
I've never seen you before.
Oh.
Leave me alone.
Okay. I haven't talked to you, dude. Let's go over here. Yeah, like, I'm literally surprised that the Order of the Green Hand did not think about the situation that Robert could have been assassinated during the hunt. Sure, no one's going to run up to Robert with the hound and Lord Barristan being right there physically. But from a distance, if you got a bow and arrow and you're a sneaky sneak, like, you know, like if you're a stealth archer like I am in Skyrim, well, like, there's a chance that Robert could be assassinated with a poison arrow. And so, yes, Ned Stark was stupid. He was really dumb for basically just taking the chance and telling Cersei right there on the spot that he knows everything without Roberts being present in the palace. Like, yeah, so what? It doesn't matter if Robert always comes back home safely during every hunting trip. Like, you cannot know for sure that Robert could come back. Like, basically, if you're playing politics, please be quiet until things start going in your favor, until you start seeing things go in your favor. Not when you just assume, I know the truth, I'm going to go and blurt it out, right? No, you have to plan things out properly. You have to just wait. And if Ned Stark told Cersei what she wanted to hear, he probably would have had, I don't know, a better fate, probably. On top of that, let's go back to Renly. Let's just go back to Renly.
Speaks for Kynesgrove. Anyone who says otherwise is aching for a fight.
Okay. So, anyways, like, if Ned Stark simply had a normal conversation with Renly, he should have actually And actually, the Order of the Green Hand, they pointed this out, said briefly, very briefly, but even they pointed out that Ned Stark should have had a separate conversation with Renly, and that's what he should have done. Instead of just kind of disagreeing with Renly about killing everybody, he should have immediately told them, "Hey, let's plan this out. Let's not rush to conclusions. Let's get those men. Let's get those 300 men that you want, but let's plan this out properly while we still got some time, right? There's no need to necessarily do any bloodshed. And if there is any bloodshed, just take out the Lannister men, right?" Ned Stark literally could have been very cunning and at the same time very noble, but he did not do that. So despite his military genius, despite the fact that he did make an awesome plan to defend the North, to get Moat's Kaelin, is it Moat's Kaelin? Kaelin's Moat? Whatever. Yeah, like basically that swampy area, like basically for them to be prepared, right? And then was it White Harbor? Yeah, like he wanted White Harbor to be prepared. That was correct. And yes, it's true that Catelyn Stark ruined it. I get it. But still, that's just the military plans, right? They were still kind of fixable under Robb Stark. Robb Stark, when it came to military, he basically was able to fix the situation from a military perspective, of course. Not 100%, but still, like he was able to slightly fix Catelyn's screw-ups. But even Robb Stark was dumb on a political level. Like literally, all Robb Stark had to do was promise. How do I say it? Like basically, like I'm actually losing my mind right now. So yeah, like before I finish off with Ned Stark, I just want to touch up on Robb, because that's what the Order of the Green Hand did. They touched upon Robb Stark and how he's also smart. And so Robb Stark is not that smart either. All Robb Stark had to do was kind of like promise to marry the daughters, right? And basically and not get married to, I forgot the girl's name. I literally forgot the peasant girl that Robb Stark married. I don't remember if she was a peasant girl, but she's basically one of the medics on the show, at least. But Robb Stark should not have married that girl immediately. Now, the Order of the Green Hands claims that Robb Stark, he basically felt that it was the right thing to do. It's like, guys, Order of the Green Hand, do you realize that we're not in college of 2021? And this isn't Hollywood. This isn't like some kind of Hollywood movie where there's some kind of moral right thing to do. No, guys, this is a medieval period, right? You basically have to be cunning when it comes to politics, and basically Robb Stark, he should have said, yeah, sure, I'll marry whatever daughter you give me, sure, whatever, right? And then just hold on to his word until they got to King's Landing. After taking King's Landing, whatever, he could have just said, hey, whatever, it's over now, and I changed my mind. So like okay, sure, he's gonna break his word, but that's okay. Like literally, okay, so that doesn't matter now. But the war is over. He could have just pretended to keep his word to the very end, right, and still have that woman as his mistress the entire time, and he would have got reinforcements, he would have got help, he would have basically taken over King's Landing, and then change his mind later, say, I don't want to marry your daughter, sir. I want to marry this mistress that I had the entire time. I know I promised her, but that was during the war. I know I promised to marry your daughter, but that was during the war. That's what I needed to cross the bridge. But now that the war is over, it doesn't matter anymore now, does it? Right? And so that's what Robb should have done if Robb was smart at all. And actually, another video blogger explained this perfectly. He explained it better than I did, how Robb Stark could have just played it along and said it and just kept his promise to the end instead of violating his promise. He could have violated his promise after the war, not during the war when he needed reinforcements. Now, let's finish off with Ned. Yeah, so Ned, literally, he was not supposed to reveal everything he knew to Cersei. He should have waited. He should have waited. It doesn't matter whether or not Robert Baratheon came back fine and healthy or mortally wounded. That does not matter at all. He should have waited for Robert to come back. No matter in what condition he came back, he should have waited. That's how you play the political game. Your nobility, your honesty will destroy people. It will harm other people. Now, Ned Stark and Littlefinger, same thing with him. He did not trust him that much. And sure, he wanted to bribe the gold cloaks. Okay, fine, whatever. But that's as far as it should have went, at least. But he should not have fully revealed his plans to Littlefinger. He should have left him confused, or, as with Cersei, let Littlefinger hear what he wanted to hear. Littlefinger would have assumed, oh, Ned Stark basically is going with my plan. Awesome, this is cool. Ned Stark did not do that. He was completely honest. And of course, the Order of the Green Hand will claim that Littlefinger knew a lot of everything because Catelyn Stark told everything to Littlefinger. Okay, yeah. Littlefinger knew about the whole situation with Bran. Okay, but that's it. That's the past. Littlefinger did not know what was presently going on in Ned Stark's mind, and that's why he asked him, so do you support Renly or Stannis? And Ned Stark, being an idiot, said, oh, I support Stannis, of course. Ned Stark should have not revealed it, the whole Stannis thing. He should have probably just told him he support Renly, or he should have told him, I'll be loyal to Joffrey. Something like that. He should have not fully revealed his true intentions to Littlefinger. He should have told him what he wanted to hear. He should have calmed him down. Now, Ned Stark and Renly. Ned Stark, basically, yes, he was screwed over by Renly when Renly simply just ran off, just disappeared that same day. But Ned Stark had an opportunity to talk with Renly. Renly told him, hey, let's do this right now. Ned Stark should have talked to him a little bit longer and told him, hey, I got a better idea. Let's go partially with you. If we have to kill anybody, it'll be the Lannister guards who get in the way, if we see them, or if they see what we're doing. But other than that, isolate Cersei immediately. Isolate the children immediately. Like, do all this while Robert is still alive, and guess what? Cersei and the children will not have any contact with anybody. Like, no one, let's say nobody who is family to Robert, although his children are not really his family, but no one who's family to Robert would be screaming, oh, we're being killed, or there'll be no bloodshed. No bloodshed of unarmed people, at least, right? That's what should have happened. But Ned did not hear Renly out. He did not want to have the conversation with him. And bang. Renly went away, and Ned Stark acted surprised. What Ned Stark should have done is that the moment Renly was gone, despite the fact that yes, Ned Stark was officially the regent. Yes, I get that. I get he had the paper, but that's the thing. He had the paper. He should have preserved it. Like, he should have realized if Renly's gone, the king is dead, Cersei is basically going to take over right now. Like maybe I should start leaving too, because Renly, basically your closest ally probably was Renly, and Ned should have just left with the documents, with the paper, and like he could have snuck out of the city with the paper, and then outside the city somewhere, you know, in a safer location, reveal the document to like the lords, to whatever lords that are not loyal to the Lannisters, and show them, hey guys, I have documents that I am now in charge. I'm the regent. I'm now the regent. Here's this paper. Here's the king's signature. He could have done that, and all the other lords would have sent messages. On top of that, here's the thing. Here's another question that like the Order of the Green Hand does not cover. How come Ned Stark sent out letters or ravens telling them, hey, are not Robert's kids, so therefore they're illegitimate, which is good. He did that, but how come he did not write a few more letters to and send a few more ravens to like at least 5 other lords that he knew, or to Stannis and say, hey, I'm the regent now. So basically, if someone's trying to usurp power, if Cersei's trying to usurp power, it's legitimate, right? So what he should have done, he should have also immediately dispatched at least 2 or 3 ravens, and then just snuck away with the documents with him. And so basically, other high lords somewhere would have read the letter saying that Ned Stark is the regent, that he's basically theoretically the king of the 7 kingdoms until Joffrey grows up, comes of age, right? And so he also should have taken that document with him, and wherever he traveled, he'd show it to other lords and told them to prepare and say, Cersei's usurping the throne. I'm the regent here, not Cersei. That's what Ned should have done if he was smart. Now, like, I'm not saying he should have done that 100% exactly as I described, but Ned definitely should have kept his mouth shut. Ned definitely should have not revealed all his secrets to Littlefinger, and Ned should have had a better conversation with Renly. A smarter conversation with Renly, and he did not do any of this. He was too noble for his own good. Sorry, Order of the Green Hand, you cannot be too honest. Okay, so if you're being honest, or extremely honest, in a den of vipers, guess what? You are going to fail. You are going to lose. You cannot do this, like, especially when you are in a monarchy, right? And you want to reform the monarchy. You want to have a better king on the throne. But the council's corrupt. Some of the heirs to the throne are corrupt, right? And they all have this clique. They have this clique of traitors and betrayal, and people who will betray you, stab you in the back. You must also kind of adapt to that system. If you do not adapt with them, you will fall, right? And I'm not saying 100% adapt. Just pretend to somewhat adapt to that, to those people, and then you could start working your way through, knocking them out, turning them on each other, knocking them out one by one. That's how you play the Game of Thrones. Ned Stark had no clue how to properly play that game. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy my rant. In Order of the Green Hand, I love you guys. You guys make great videos. I love your content. It's just that, sorry guys, the Stark video, your Stark video disappointed me. I had to make my own, and hopefully you guys are not mad at me. And if you guys are watching this, I hope you're not mad at me. That's all I gotta say right now. If I have more to say, I probably will. Maybe make a part 2. Maybe not. I don't know. but that's what I felt like I had to say. Yeah. So I'm going to wish you guys a wonderful time. Arizona Gaming Society signing out.